Hello guys, welcome to today's video. This is going to be a super interesting video. We will deep dive into what you have to do in the first 5 minutes of a case interview. Yes, this video is dedicated to the first 5 minutes of the case interview, nothing beyond that. You might ask me, hey, why is this first 5 minutes so important? The first 5 minutes in this case format interviews will help determine whether you are going to actually crack the interview versus not. Okay, probably 80% of your chances of cracking that interview are determined in the first 5 minutes. So super crucial, guys. Okay, for beginners, if you can get started with these techniques, you will be off to a great start. And for advanced folks, just see that you are implementing these techniques in every single practice case as well. Okay, so let us get started with the video. And also, precisely, I'll tell you 5 sentences that you can use in your actual interviews. Yes, that indicates to the interviewer that, hey, you are super structured in your preparation and you already know what you are getting into. Okay, so let us get started right away with the first chapter. We know what case statements are. These are hypothetical business situations that we need to solve for in the interviews. For example, Zomato is launching their grocery delivery business and they need help with market entry strategy. Well, I don't know if Zomato is actually launching this business or not. I'm just making up a hypothetical statement. Okay, that could be your actual question in the interview, right? But most probably the length of the questions would be a little longer. Let me read one out for you. Okay, please take down some notes at this point in time and let us see after the question what you remember versus not. Okay, here you go. Our client is Super Soda. Super Soda is a top 3 beverage producer in the United States and has approached McKinsey for help in designing a product launch strategy. As an integrated beverage company, Super Soda leads its own brand design, marketing, and sales efforts. In addition, the company owns the entire beverage supply chain, including production, bottling and packaging, and distribution to retail outlets. Super Soda has a considerable number of brands across carbonated and non-carbonated drinks, 5 large bottling plants throughout the country, and distribution agreements with major retailers. Super Soda is evaluating the launch of a new product, a flavored sports drink called Electrolyte. Sports drinks are usually designed to replenish both energy and electrolytes in the body. However, Electrolyte has been formulated to focus more on the replenishment of electrolytes and has a reduced sugar content compared to most other sports drinks. The company expects this new beverage to capitalize on the recent trend away from sugar-rich products. Super Soda's Vice President of Marketing has asked you to help analyze the major factors surrounding the launch of Electrolyte and its own internal capabilities to support the effort. Alright guys, I hope you got the question. If you didn't get the entire question, please pause it, go back and listen to the entire question. Okay, now the interesting thing is this is how you will actually get questions in the interview, but you cannot rewind and play it back. The interviewer is speaking the question out for you, correct? The first thing that you need to do is take some notes and make sure after the interviewer pauses at this particular point in time, tell them that, hey, can I share my understanding of the situation and let me know if I have missed anything. This is an exact sentence that you have to use. There is no question. You definitely have to repeat and identify if there is any missing element. Okay guys, this is the first thing. Just summarizing whatever you have heard and repeating it with the interviewer. Now that you have repeated the information, you have to start thinking about, hey, what are some of the questions that you can ask? Hey, before that, mention that, can I take 2 minutes to gather my thoughts? Okay, please repeat this sentence. Can I take 2 minutes to gather my thoughts? Absolutely required. You just cannot say an answer immediately. Okay, so that's your second point. The third thing, after you take 2 minutes, you start off with asking some important questions. You cannot go on asking like, hey, I have these 10 questions, so let me ask all the 10 questions. You should not do that. Your clarifying questions should be at most be 2 or 3, and these questions should help you push the answer forward. If the clarifying questions that you are about to ask is not pushing the answer forward, you should not ask them. For example, if Zomato is launching a particular business, then you want to ask, hey, did Zomato have any experience launching new products in the recent past? Okay. Or you might want to ask, what is the free time that Zomato delivery agents currently have, probably that they can be deployed for grocery delivery service as well. Or you might want to ask, hey, what is the potential market share or the ROI estimate that Zomato is targeting? Correct? So these things will help you push the answer forward rather than asking, hey, what is the market share of our biggest competitor? No, it doesn't matter, right? Is that going to actually change the answer? If you believe your question will change your answer, only then ask that question. We talked about first repeating the information and confirming the entire summary of what you have heard, including the objective. Number two, we talked about, hey, taking 2 minutes to gather your thoughts. Number three, we talked about asking specific questions. Now, when you ask these specific questions, ensure that you are asking about data as well. You can start off with a very generic question. Do you have any data available at this point in time? That could be your literal first question with respect to data, guys. Do you have any data that you can share right now? Okay. If there is no data, there is no point in asking, hey, do you have this data? Do you have that data? So first you need to clarify that, hey, is there any data at all? And then you can ask probably more questions around data. Then moving forward from the data, you need to start providing your structure. Hey, these are the three things that can potentially help Zomato launch this particular product, grocery delivery product, correct? With that being said, you cannot say that these are the 10 things that Zomato should be doing. You can say that, hey, Zomato should be looking at what is the ROI, what Zomato should be looking at, what is the competition in the market, Zomato should be looking at what is the growth, Zomato should be looking at the customer preferences, changing customer trends, and on and on and on, right? This list could be so long, it immediately will be called as a laundry list, right? And if you provide laundry list, what is the other person going to remember? Nothing. Okay. The next statement that you should use is, hey, let me structure my answer into 3 groups. Exactly, you can use this sentence, guys. It could be 2 groups, 3 groups, 4 groups, whatever it is. But you need to say that, hey, I am structuring my answer into 2 groups or 3 groups or 4 groups, right? This will indicate directly to the interviewer that, hey, you are being structured from step 1. All right. So that is the 4th point. Talk specifically about the structure. Okay. Now, what does this help you with? You are saying, hey, so many things. Why do you need all of these things to do right now? Probably you can save this video and mention that, hey, the day before I go to the interview, I will play this video again and speak these things. Correct? No. You should probably do these things in every single practice mock case interview as well, because it will help you internalize and memorize these things. It is very hard for you to implement all these things at the first time. So take down notes, take down these 5 sentences, put it on your notepad, and whenever you are solving the case for the first time, make sure that you are doing all this. Okay. Now, a small hint about, I mentioned divide them into 2 buckets or 3 buckets, right? People will say that, hey, I know that Zomato is planning to launch a new product. So I want to understand about their customers. I want to understand about their competition, and I want to understand about market trends. Okay. Those are not 3 buckets. Those are 3 bullets. What buckets means is that, hey, there are some sub bullets under each one of them. For example, if we say that, hey, I want to look into market trends, customers, and competition. Within competition, I want to look at who are the primary competitors and what is their market share. Within customers, I want to look at what are the customer preferences right now and what are the customer segments or the age groups which are currently using this kind of service. In the market trends, I want to know what are the current growth rates in this segment in the market. And number 2, what is the overall market size? If you add only sub bullets, then you call it as a entire structure or entire bucketing system. If you don't have sub bullets, it is still a list. So ensure that you have sub bullets and also something which is grouping these sub bullets together. And you should have 2 or 3 such groups in the answer. Okay, it might be a little too much. So please go back by a minute and rewind the video and see that, hey, what groupings and how subgroupings work. And the next thing that you can actually say to the interviewer is, hey, these are my groups, these are my subgroups. Do you want me to deep dive into any of these subgroups? You are giving the case a direction, right? You are just not saying that, hey, this is what all the things that I will look at. You're saying this is number 1, this is number 2, this is number 3. And can you tell me if there is anything specifically that you want me to deep dive into? That will help the interviewer to take the interview forward. All right, guys, we talked about 5 or 6 specific statements that we can talk in the interview. Please, why don't you summarize those 5 or 6 things? I'm not going to summarize for you today. Write those 5 or 6 throughout the entire video. Probably go back, play, and write it down in the comments. And also write it down in your notepad so that before every practice case, you actually go through and say that these are the things that I'll definitely implement in the case interview. Hopefully this will be helpful for you guys, and look forward to seeing you again tomorrow. Thanks. Bye.